I would now like to introduce our next speaker, someone I have worked very closely with over the last few weeks and have come to greatly admire, Ira Steele.
Social profile. All right. Seriously. Uh, Thank you so much, Austin. Seriously, though, after hearing what he's accomplished by 18, I'm realizing I may have taken the scenic route to get here. You see, for the better part of 15 years, I struggled with an opiate addiction. I spent several years of my life in and out of jail, and more times than I can count, I came close to losing hope entirely. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. About 30% of you are locking in, wondering where this story's going. Another 40% of you are just thinking, oh God, this got serious fast. About 50% of you are just wondering, where did I get my shoes? And about 10% of you are adding up the numbers and realizing, I might not be that great at math. You wouldn't be wrong, but stick with me for a minute. My name is Ira Steele, and I am honored to stand here today as a graduate of Rio Salado College, a proud member of Phi Theta Kappa, with over 3 years of sobriety and a degree in addiction and substance use disorders. But long before I enrolled in Rio Salado, I had already seen what determination really looks like. One of the most powerful people I know, my mother, Yola Gamashi, came to this country, a Palestinian immigrant, with my 2 sisters and little old me, and without even a high school education. She arrived in Miami, Florida in the early 80s, a fast-paced city where the language, culture, and systems were unfamiliar, while trying to raise 3 kids and building a future from scratch. Most people in that situation would simply try to survive, but my mother did something extraordinary. Against all odds, she went back to school. She studied late into the night, on weekends, and whenever an opportunity to study arose, she took it. She pushed through cultural and gender barriers, financial challenges, and all the fears that come with starting over in a new country, and eventually, she accomplished something remarkable. She earned her master's degree in clinical psychology, specializing in trauma therapy. That's right. And dedicated her life to helping others heal. Think about it. A woman who grew up in the Middle East during a time of instability, in a culture where opportunities for women were more than limited, arrived in this country without a high school diploma and dedicated herself to becoming someone whose mission in life was to help others overcome their deepest pain. Watching her taught me something powerful. An education can change the trajectory of a life. Sadly, my mother lost her battle with cancer in 2022. And although she isn't here today to see this moment, I am honored to stand here and pay tribute to her, because the determination that carried her through every challenge still lives on in me. That same tenacity helped me rebuild my life. But believe me when I tell you, I struggled. Since 2008, I have battled an opioid addiction that nearly claimed my life on more than one occasion. And because of my addiction, I got to drive the struggle bus straight to prison. But my greatest barrier was that I never addressed my mental health. I did everything I could to mask my autism. It wasn't until I found sobriety that I realized just how beautiful the way I see the world really is, and I finally got the diagnosis. But even then, going back to school felt overwhelming. After nearly 20 years away from the classroom, my mind was filled with doubt. But sometimes, life's biggest transformations begin in the smallest possible way. For me, It was my sister Joanna who said something so simple. Just take one class. Even if you fail, just take it. One class. That was the challenge. That simple statement sparked something inside of me that had been simmering just beneath the surface. You see, when someone else believes in you naturally, it can open your eyes to something you may have been missing for a long time. And over the course of my addiction, I had forgotten a few important things. That I am bigger than my setbacks, that I am stronger than my mistakes, that the people who love me really do see me, and maybe most importantly, that I really love me, some me. And when my first semester ended with a 4.0, I remember thinking, how did this old ex-junkie felon just get a 4.0 on the first try? Yeah. That moment changed everything. I made a promise to myself. I would maintain the same commitment every semester regardless of the grade. That meant sacrifice. That meant discipline. That meant being impeccable with my word. And before I knew it, someone incredible emerged. Another semester, another 4.0, then another, then another. And somewhere along the way, I started to see in myself what others had seen all along. And that transformation was fueled by the unwavering support of my dear sister, Joanna, and my very patient fiance, Brooklyn. Love you, Lulu. You see, when you've spent years believing your past defines you, it's hard to imagine a different future. But it's the people who stand beside you, especially when you're still finding your footing, that have a way of reminding you who you really are. And it's because of them that I begin to rebuild my confidence one day at a time. Today, I am grateful to devote both my lived experience and my education through my work with Casa Grande Alliance. A small but mighty nonprofit where I support individuals navigating recovery and reentry after incarceration. And it's there, in this magical little building, that I say the same thing that I say to you. Remember, you don't have to see the whole path to start walking it. Every small step you take today is proof that you're stronger than your doubts and more capable than your fears. You've already made it this far through every hard day you thought you couldn't handle, and guess what? You're still here. That's not an accident. That's resilience. Lean into progress, not perfection. Show up, even if it's messy. The people you'll impact, the work you'll create, and the life you'll build all begin with the choice to keep going right now. You are all closer than you think, and you're more prepared than you feel. My journey began with a simple challenge. Just take one class. Today, that decision led to a college degree and a renewed sense of purpose. And while I can't tell you what the end of your journey will look like, I can tell you that 100% of you dared to take the first step. Guess I'm not that bad at math after all. Thank you, and congratulations to the graduating class of 2022. 26.